Hello, and welcome to a Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls guide on the 6-piece Raiment Generator Monk build. Firstly, I will go over the build, then give a small description of what I think of it, and finally, I will show myself clearing a level 70 Grid Rift. If you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe for more gaming and Diablo related videos. The gear consists of 5 pieces of the Raiment 6-piece set. You have the option of taking your Mantle of the Upside Down Sinners out for Lefebvre's Soliloquy, or you could take out your Scales of the Dancing Serpent for Depth Diggers. There are 2 options for your belt slot. Most of the time, you'll want to be running String of Ears like I have here. However, if you find that you do not have survivability issues, then you could swap this out for the Witching Hour for a significant damage increase. Your jewelry consists of the Endless Walk set, which is the Traveler's Pledge and the Compass Rose. Additionally, Unity. While the Endless Walk set should not be swapped out for anything, if you haven't yet found a second Unity for your follower, or lack of the focus which makes them immune to damage, you can instead run Convention of Elements here. The bracers that you use for this build are Spirit Guards. If you find yourself running lower level Greater Rifts, or don't feel the need for more survivability, you could swap them out for Nemesis Bracers for faster rift clears, or Strong Arm Bracers for slightly more damage. Finally, your weapons are going to be the Shenlong Spirit set. There's no getting around this, they are a staple in every Monk Generator build, and you cannot get very far without them. If you have not yet found these, then the weapons that I would recommend for you to use are Jawbreaker and the Crystal Fist. In your Kanai's Cube, you want to be running Flying Dragon for your weapon slot, the armor piece that you did not swap your raiments out for, either Depth Diggers or Lefebvre's Soliloquy, and finally, the Ring of Royal Grandeur. If you haven't found a Flying Dragon yet in the season, then the next best thing you could have in your cube is the Furnace. If you only have one of Lefebvre's or Depth Digger, then you can run this build instead with Leoric's Crown. If you want to run the full 6-piece set, you can switch Ring of Royal Grandeur out for the Band of Root Chambers. A link to a perfectly rolled build will be in the description of this video if you need any help on how to roll your gear. In your jewelry sockets, you should be running Bane of the Trapped for a large passive boost in damage, Simplicity Strength for the damage, but mostly for the survivability that it offers after rank 25, and finally, Bane of the Stricken. You need this for large groups of mobs as well as Rift Guardians. For this build, you'll want to be running Dashing Strike, Blinding Speed. If you don't need the extra survivability from this rune, you can instead run Wave the Falling Star for extra movement speed, or Radiance for extra damage. Next, you will need Breath of Heaven. This is mandatory in this build. When the Shenlong's debuff procs, you want to use this ability to stay at your maximum spirit for as long as possible. Epiphany Desert Shroud is used specifically for the damage reduction that it gives. However, if you're running lower level Greater Rifts, you can instead swap this out for Epiphany Insight to increase your spirit regeneration. Another variation of this build is the Raiments Single Gen, where you replace this skill altogether with Way of the 100 Fists, Assimilation. The last skill that I have on my bars is the Mantra of Salvation, Agility. The active effect is fairly negligible, and I find myself never using it in actual runs. However, the passive dodge chance is beyond amazing for this build. Once again, if you find yourself not needing the bonus survivability, I would switch this out for Mantra of Conviction, either Annihilation, Overawe, or Intimidation. The skills that I have bound to my mouse clicks are Cyclone Strike Implosion. You use this skill to group up large packs of monsters and bring them over to your followers' Oculus Ring zones. This skill is mandatory for the build, and I haven't seen anyone effectively run it without this skill. And lastly, Crippling Wave Mangle. This is where all of your damage is coming from. We use this specific generator as it has the highest consistent damage of any generator and also attacks in an AoE around you. The passive that you want for this build are Seize the Initiative, Alacrity, Harmony, and the Beacon of Itar. In both single and duo generator builds, Beacon of Itar has effectively been placed with the Guardian's Path or Exalted Soul. All three are viable options for your last passive. However, the first three passives that I had listed are mandatory for this build, and all the top Raiments generators builds are using this. Overall, this build is extremely strong. It deals with large packs of enemy very quickly, and the Rift Guardian even faster. This being said, it does lack in survivability a ton. Being hit by any large attacks is extremely detrimental to this build, and while I have been listing alternative options for all of the skills that help you survive, changing them out leaves you extremely vulnerable, and as this build is strictly for pushing higher greater rifts, I wouldn't recommend using many of the changes with each other. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and comment if you enjoyed the content, and I'll leave it with the Rift Clear.